What's up, universe? So this is going to be a little bit of a casual behind the scenes look into our step-by-step process of what it took into developing our clothing line, all the mistakes and pitfalls we made along the way, the lessons that we learned and how we're making it better. And we just thought we'd take you along for the ride because we're very kind of secretive for a while. You didn't even know that we had this line probably. If you haven't checked out our last video, make sure you do that. It's a little bit more detailed, plus our kids are in it, so it's cute. In case you didn't watch our last video, we mentioned we already had an Etsy shop, and it was called Small Bites, and we did baby onesies. So we did one run of this. We were mentioned by a big blogger. We were also selling in a store in Houston, but we decided not to do a second run because money, time, all of that stuff. I'm a chef with a fashion design background, so I've always come from drawing and illustrating, and my teacher actually described my style of drawing as cupey, and I had no idea what that meant, but it's basically this. It's pretty much kawaii, but minimalist with like a little flair or sass. And then it started out because this guy was gonna have an Etsy shop on his own. And I'm like, you ain't gonna do things on your own. Just kidding.
Why not? That's the desire of it. But then she had to scoot her butt inside to my realm.
Because he was doing his own designs, but then I was like, this doesn't really feel like you. So I felt like if you're gonna do something, put heart into it no matter what. I don't know. I started drawing little doodles, but in the beginning, it was not really branding. It was just kind of like a standalone thing on Etsy.
It was just pretty much our testing of how well it's gonna do, the whole process of it. We're just kind of testing everything out.
This time we're more intentional. We're straying away from Etsy and just becoming like another Etsy shop and becoming our own brand. We decided to go with many variations of our first design. This is our butter together, kind of like main guys. We decided to now switch them to have shoes and a coffee because that's going to be like our signature look. The first version had no shoes, no coffee. Our signature look is kind of like these cutout lines. You can't really tell on a black background, but all of these little lines are actually cutouts, meaning that whatever t-shirt color is going to bleed through. So if it's a blue, the blue will show through, white will show through.
You can't really tell from this because it's lighter background, but
we also have our butter together font, but then we also have a couple designs such as this one. This is part of our fall line, and it's going to be my handwriting. I made the bubble letters myself. All of these designs are hand-drawn by me that I drew like in a sketchbook, then Joe digitized. We tried to keep the integrity of my hand-drawn illustration style more in 2.0. So like you can't really tell in this design, but you can tell it more here. I would say the drawing style is a little bit less rigid and more organic. And there'll be little Easter eggs of where you can find the little butter man, this guy, in the drawings, plus our company name and all of the designs. And in this next run, we're also going to have personalization. On the t-shirts, it's printed, DTG printing.
Direct to garment, so it's printed on there.
For the sweatshirts and the long sleeve, the hoodies are going to be embroidered. We went down this whole rabbit hole of like how to do it. Obviously, there's screen printing, but this is not screen printing. This is called direct to garment DTG printing.
It's pretty much blended into the garment itself so that it feels more soft. It's a little bit more part of the shirt instead of just literally just laying on top like a screen printing would be.
Yeah, so it's treated with like a pre-treatment spray, and then the dye becomes part of the garment. It gets entwined into the fibers of the garment. So when you first receive your garment, we are like wash before first wear. It's very important because otherwise colors can attract onto here. But then over time, you'll notice with screen printing, and do you ever notice that with your screen printed shirts, they start to crack and fade and like crackle apart? These will last much longer without doing so. And we actually have proof because in one of our first runs, this was a mistake. This one was printed too high. This was our first run and it was like up here, even though we wanted it down here. So we've actually switched printing companies and now all of these issues have actually been resolved. It took us many wrong turns, some customer complaints, and free exchanges in order to get it right. But now we switched companies and like now we also know. He's worn this every single day, like almost. And then he's washed this like countless times for over a year. And it's now just starting to have a little bit of speckling. But I mean, this has been going through some wear and tear and it's still hanging up pretty good. So that's the beauty of DTG, direct to garment. So that's how ours are printed. So that's more expensive and it's a little bit harder to like, you know, when you first receive it to take care of it, but then it's worth it in the end. When we first started, it's not like Joe and I are versed in DTG or screen printing and especially also print on demand. So we're at the mercy of those who are printing it for us from the print shop. We're not doing it ourselves. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong, right, in terms of quality and consistency. In the beginning, we had a lot of things happen, like it was too faded, or like this instance. This is a design that we have retired, but we might bring it out next Halloween in a different version. This was our Hey Boo. We started out with the pocket, and then it's not a pocket design. It's like in the middle. And we're like, what's going on with that? And so we had to eat up the cost of this too. This one was like too small. It's like the Three Bears, right? Or no, it was like also not moved up enough. So then we decided to retire this pocket style because we were traumatized by the pockets always being wrong in some way. Like it's been wrong like a few times. And so I think with this new printing company, now we've given them a chance. I think they'll do it right. So we might bring back the pocket style eventually.
We'll see.
And then this one is like too big. And this was a mistake on our end because Joe was like trying to figure out the calculations. So now what we've decided to do is cut it out on paper, like print it and cut it out on paper and actually put it, like tape it on ourselves to see how big it's going to be. And that has saved us a lot of heartache and guessing.
Plus, we weren't sure about like if the print on the large would be different from print on a small. Sizing was, you had to kind of play around with it.
All the while, we're just eating up all of these costs. And with the print on demand, like you're actually paying a lot to produce it. So because it's one garment for yourself, for that one customer, it was like a lot for us to learn. It was a kind of expensive learning. And then we decided to try doing these, which are like zip up hoodies, which we like. I actually like the color of this too.
Yeah, but this is really dirty because I've been wearing it.
It is. I was like, why is it so dirty? But
we didn't wash it.
But this, he's like trying to hide it. And I'm trying to tell you.
That's
what
because,
you eat?
No, because it was Taylor's yogurt.
Oh.
And she splattered all over it. Like, last night.
But so this one we were very disappointed in. We had to get a refund about it. But like this one day, like it was very faded when we first got it. And the colors were too blended because I really like the muted retro colors.
This one's better.
Okay.
This one is not as dirty.
Yeah. But it's the same concept of where it's like not as vibrant. It's not as pigmented. And I was like, did they run out of ink? Like what's going on? Are they giving the last of the barrel? And I really didn't like that. It made me feel unsatisfied as a customer and as someone who's selling this to the customers we care about. So we decided not to sell these zip up hoodies because I think we tried like 3 different times and like each time we were just like not happy. I think mine was not good too. Also, the placement was weird on the shoulder. It was like here, 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 and it was like faded. And so we're still trying to figure this one out. But again, maybe our new print company will do better. And if we're satisfied with it, we might come back to this. But also this style, believe it or not, is very expensive to produce and then costly for the customer. So we're not sure. And so Lincoln's, the kid size came out a little bit better. It's a little bit pigmented like it should be. And it was placed like pretty good. So he wears this, but we really like this company that we're working with. They are more expensive. So if you were here for Butter Together 1.0, you may notice that our prices have raised, but it's because our prices have raised and it's for the sake of the consistency of quality.
And then we actually putting more of a branding play to it. So then we actually have our own tag. So that was pretty important to us.
At first, when we were in Etsy shop, we decided to just kind of be whatever, like anonymous in a way, right? If you like these kawaii designs, you buy it. But not anymore. Now we are very associated with it. Go to our website, buttertogethershop.com. Follow us on social media, Butter Together Shop on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And you'll be able to stay connected and see our latest drops and behind the scenes and everything we're working on. And on social media, you can bring in your 2 cents and kind of say, hey, I would love to see this design come out.
And then also sign up to our newsletter so you get immediately contacted when we are dropping our next collection.
This is another Hey Boo, and this one is sweatshirt. This one actually came out good. I feel like it was like a good size for the size of this. I like oversized sweatshirts. So are you, leave it in the comments, a just fitted or an oversized sweatshirt person? And the thing to know about our 2.0 designs is that for the t-shirts, if you like it a little bit looser fitting, you definitely should size up. The hoodies especially, this is kind of like a tighter fit. It's like a more slim fit.
Depending on how you like to wear it, but if you would like a little bit more loose, then maybe size up 2 sizes. Size up if you like just like a nicer, just comfortable fit.
The crew necks, they are pretty much true to size. Crew necks, I would just keep it your normal size. For the hoodies and the t-shirts, I would size up if you don't like it too fitted.
And these are so soft.
Yeah, this is our newer sweatshirt. It is very soft. It's very like what I would like to call squidgy. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? It almost feels like neoprene. Like it's like very slippery, very soft, and almost like super padded. And Joe says that he likes these strings better. What else did we run into? So for instance, this is one that one of our friends ordered. This one is one of our designs we had for Christmas. It was Meowie Christmas. Again, we retired this one for this season. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Like that's kind of like our philosophy. So when you see a collection drop, you only have a limited time to purchase that item. This one was printed a little bit too faded. And so my friend bought this as a gift for her friend. And we eventually felt so bad she couldn't give it to her because it was very faded and it was felt very shrunken too. Like so shrunken that the details disappeared. So that's something that we learned too, because all of these cats have a lot of details on them. And so over time we realized I can't draw drawings with too much tiny details because as they shrink down with the sizes, they get very lost. Like each of the cats is so tiny. So I still draw details, but I draw the details large now. We also learned with the colors, I love muted, retro, vintage looking, like kind of 70s. So I liked it being kind of like this muted tone, but then on t-shirts and sweatshirts, it's too muted. Like it's too much, it blends in. We have to play around with a little bit bolder colors. Another one of our designs is Life is Butter with You. And then with this one, I don't even know if we have the green sweatshirt color available for the new print company. I have to look into it, but I played around with this. I was like, I feel like the shoes are facing the, like they're too out like this, too splayed. And so this, for the second round, I decided to redraw this whole thing and make the shoes like more kind of forward focused. And in our first run, there's no shoes at all. And so if you look, this is our actual Butterman. This is where the Butterman came from this design. So I'm still going to wear these around, but they're going to be all slightly wrong. Like if you see them in our
these
videos.
These are all samples. So
yeah.
That's part of being a sample.
Stay warm and toasty. Isn't this such a cute ice blue color? But I don't know if we can have it with our next printing company. It was always a battle for me because I'm like, I want this and I want this and I want this. It's like finding a spouse. Like you want everything perfect, but you can't. So if you want like good quality that's consistent, then you might have like limited colors because like that's what they offer. And so that's something we have to go through. And this too, I reworked it. I redrew the shoes. I felt like they were too small in this version. So I drew it a little bigger, and same thing with like like little things were tweaked with this one too. But this is pretty much one of our first bread and butter collections that was popular. My other friend bought this on our first run and it was too faded. It's like too blued out. I don't know why that happened because when we got it reprinted, it was not blued out.
So we have decided that we're going to have a 30-day return guaranteed, depending on if it's a sizing issue, we can't refund for that. But then if it's a print issue or something with the garment that something's wrong with it, then we'll do a refund or an exchange or something like that.
Yeah, so unfortunately we cannot exchange for size because we just don't have the inventory. So we have to buy a whole nother size. And that's kind of a buyer's error if you look at the sizing chart and you still buy the wrong size. But if it's something that's actually wrong with the garment itself or that like it's printed wrong, then please let us know. We are humans, we care about you, and we care about you having the best quality to represent us. So please let us know. So there'll be less of a risk in that way too, because our first version, we had no refunds because we also don't have inventory. This time around, we believe in our product and we believe that you'll enjoy it, and we don't want you to be sad if something happens to it. So we do have a return policy this time.
So yeah, we'll have the embroidery.
By the way, Joe cannot say embroidery for the life of him.
Embroidery of our sleeve, personalized, and so this is obviously a higher cost. So it's great for like if you're gonna do a gift, or if you want to say something about yourself, or that's complete in the option.
Or you have a mantra, like I have on this one, the inhale, exhale, for the peace be with you. And so it's just a reminder for me to breathe and not to stress about the small stuff. You could do initials. Like I think one of my shirts, I have all of our family's initials.
Like us.
Yes. For this one, I have Chef Julie. Again, for t-shirts, for some reason, the personalization is DTG printing, which is the same as the front. It's not embroidered. But for the long sleeve versions of things, they're all embroidered. And it's just the way that the company does it. So for the personalization on t-shirts, it will be a little bit less costly. One of the things that you may notice, maybe you can't tell in the videos, is that we're wearing actually different t-shirts. So like we went through this thing where Joe was trying to get a different t-shirt than we had for the Butter Together 1.0. We came around to 3 different t-shirts and came back to our original t-shirt. And so that took a lot of sampling, a lot of trial and error, and like purchasing them all. So he's wearing one kind, I'm wearing another brand, and then we landed back on our original brand, which is what Lincoln was wearing earlier. So the reason we landed on our first t-shirt is because it is super, super soft. I feel like it's really easily, you can tell it's like silky soft and smooth on the skin. A lot of the females like this shirt because it is more slinky, like it is more form-fitting. It's a little bit more slim to the arms. And for you personally, you also like when the arms are slimmer too, right? So it is a
Show my guns.
it is a unisex shirt, so it does fit both male and female. But we noticed that with a lot of unisex shirts, like maybe they're a little tight on the hip for females. Also with the first brand, there's a lot more color choices, and we don't know why it is, but certain brands just have limited color choices. And so at first we're like, it shouldn't matter that much because most of the popular colors are like black, gray, white, neutral. But then over time we realized that especially our female audience, they do like having colors in their choices, like having baby blue or having olive green, things like that. So this is our first t-shirt. And this is the quality. It's like very slinky and very, very soft. So it kind of like hugs a little bit more. If you don't like that, you can size up. I personally size up when I wear this, but if it's just right, you can tuck it in, you can slouch it and slink it. So this kind of material is different from like this material, as you can tell. So we went around to different versions and we came back to this, and that actually, even though that took us a long process and a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of spending for samples, it was good to kind of land back on this. So we're actually happy about it. And I think that it was a good decision in the end. And once again, it's going to be first come, first serve or limited time because we just like to move on without holding on to a bunch of designs, and especially if it's seasonal. It's a way of keeping things fresh, updated, exciting, creative for us because we're creative people. And it's a way for us to keep our social media fresh. This is a love letter to you guys as our universe because we are better together. We believe in the power of community. We believe in inspiring each other, encouraging one another, and growing together. So not only are our puns kind of like funny and quirky, but they're usually very positive and affirming. And we really do feel like that we can grow together as this community and help each other. So our new tagline is let's be, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting it.
Let's be taste buds. And so the idea is, like I love sushi. And so like I want to wear something that's sushi. It's kind of fun. Just roll with it. Obviously it's a roll on a skateboard. And that's sort of my personality is go through some trials or have a hiccup, just kind of roll with it, and just kind of move on. So that's kind of my personality. So it kind of fits.
Yeah. And this was my personality, which is why I got this printed out, the peace be with you. First of all, anyone who knows me sees I'm always like peace out or peace homes or something like that. But on top of it, it's just like my attitude, just kind of like peace be with you. Like I think we're both talking about hard times. I guess we went through hard times a lot recently. But yeah, he's more like roll with. I'm like peace be with you. So it's like if you relate to this, then we're like taste buds, right? Let's be friends. Just like I think all of you guys are our friends who are here in this community. So remember, butter together. Let's be taste buds. Every time I wanted to quit and stuff, like Joe would be like, we better not do this then. But like, I still felt like there has to be a better way. Like I kept thinking. And so that caused Joe to deep dive into really looking and realizing that we were at the wrong print company. It seemed right for like price point, budget, reviews and everything, but we found that we weren't satisfied with it. And so he kept deep diving. So that took us some time off to figure out, and then deep diving into, we should just utilize our own website as opposed to competing with everyone else on Etsy, get lost in the algorithm.
Yeah, we're just really trying to build up a brand. And so that's sort of our mission, and just create a community, to join our social media, having our community on there and using the comments to talk to us.
Basically, Butter Together and Chef Julie Yoon are separate brands. Like we are separate companies. One can exist without the other. But at the same time, we are related to each other. And I think that we're all in the same, like one feeds the other. So you're going to see us talk a lot more about Butter Together. And then even on Butter Together, you'll hear us talk more about Chef Julie Yoon. Before they were separate, like kind of like something we did on the side with only a few people catching on or knowing. Only our friends and family knew and supported us. But now we're out there. We're going to try our best. It's our merch, Chef Julie Yoon merch, without being Chef Julie Yoon. We hope it's more about you than it is about us. So We hope that you stay hungry for more.
Let's be taste buds.
See ya.
Bye.
I totally forgot to show you a sneak peek of this one. This is called Coffee Run, and this is from our coffee and tea line collection that's gonna come out too. My little personalization says happy things because that's for me. Joy in a cup. I go for a coffee run. Isn't it cute? And if you like coffee just like me, it's for you. You gotta wait for this to drop. It's not gonna drop out yet. The fall line's gonna come out first.